The sun crept over the horizon, casting long shadows across the baseball field behind Millridge High School. Captain Mara Reef. Reyes watched her breath fog in the crisp morning air as she completed her 5th lap. Running at dawn had become her ritual, a moment of peace before the chaos of classroom management began. 20 years in special operations had taught her that stillness was a luxury. Now, 3 years into civilian life as Millridge's civics teacher, she treasured these quiet moments. The town slept around her, its water tower gleaming orange in the sunrise. Her phone buzzed. Theo, her 12-year-old brother, was awake. "You forgot to sign my permission slip," his sleepy voice accused when she answered. "Good morning to you too, Squirt," Reef replied, slowing to a walk. "It's on the counter. Don't forget your science project." "It's a working potato battery this time. Samira helped me make it strong enough to power a small radio." Reef smiled. Theo had bounced back remarkably well after their parents' accident 2 years ago. His friendship with Samira Patel had been his anchor. The two were inseparable, constantly building contraptions from junkyard scraps. "Impressive. Don't be late. I'll see you after school." As she ended the call, Reef's gaze drifted to the memorial plaque near the school entrance. 3 former students who hadn't returned from overseas deployments. She'd known 2 personally from her training days. A pang of familiar guilt twisted in her chest. Operation Sandstorm. 8 civilians dead because she'd miscalculated an extraction point. Their faces still haunted her dreams. "Not today," she whispered, pushing the memories down. Today was just another Thursday in peaceful Millridge. By 8:15 a.m., her classroom was filling with drowsy teenagers. Reef leaned against her desk, arms crossed, as the final bell rang. "Pop quiz on alien treaties," she announced with a straight face. The class groaned collectively. "Just kidding," Reef laughed. "But your faces were priceless. Today we're discussing civil defense, how communities organize during crises." "Like zombie apocalypses?" asked Miguel from the back row. "More like natural disasters," Reef corrected, "though the principles would apply to zombies too, I suppose." Her students perked up, as they always did when she connected civilian concepts to more exciting scenarios. Little did they know how quickly theory would become practice. The classroom windows suddenly blazed white. A heartbeat later, a thunderous boom rattled the building. Students cried out, ducking beneath desks as ceiling tiles shook loose. Reef was already moving. "Stay down," she commanded, her instructor's voice cutting through the panic. She crossed to the window in 3 strides. A plume of smoke rose from the town center. The water tower, their beloved landmark with Millridge painted in fading blue, listed dangerously, its metal skin torn open like a soda can. "Ms. Reyes, is it a terrorist attack?" Liza Chambers was white-knuckled but steady. "Unknown," Reef answered calmly, her mind already calculating evacuation routes. "Everyone follow emergency protocols. Basement shelter. Single file. Now." As her students moved with surprising order, Reef's phone vibrated. A nationwide emergency alert. "Unidentified aerial phenomena detected in multiple locations." This is not a drill. She knew before the Pentagon confirmed it. The town wasn't under terrorist attack. It was first contact. And it wasn't friendly. The high school basement had been a Cold War fallout shelter in the 1960s. Now it served as storage for outdated textbooks and sports equipment, and apparently as humanity's first line of defense against alien incursion. Reef had gathered her students, along with several other classes that had evacuated. Nearly 100 teenagers looked to her for direction. "The cell networks are jammed," she told them, pocketing her useless phone. "But the school's old radio still works." She twisted dials on the ancient receiver, through bursts of static, Fragments of emergency broadcasts painted a grim picture. Similar impacts had occurred in towns and cities across the globe. No clear demands or communication from whoever had sent the projectiles. "We need eyes outside," Reef decided. "Volunteers only. 2 people. Quick reconnaissance." A dozen hands shot up. She chose Miguel and Liza, her most level-headed students. 10 minutes. No heroics. Report back regardless of what you see. While they were gone, Reef organized the remaining students. The basketball team moved heavy filing cabinets to barricade the main entrance. The science club gathered first aid supplies and took inventory of anything that might serve as a weapon. When Miguel and Liza returned, their expressions told Reef everything before they spoke. "They're not bombs," Miguel said, breathless. "They're like pods, opening up." Liza held out her phone. "I recorded it." The video showed the damaged water tower. At its base, a metallic sphere had split open like a flower. Mechanical legs extended from within, lifting what appeared to be cameras or sensors. "There's more," Liza whispered. "It projected something, like a hologram, testing us." "Testing what?" "Our reactions. It showed images of people running, hiding. Then it showed children," Miguel finished. "Kids fighting back with, like, makeshift weapons, and winning." Reef felt her blood run cold. "Show me!" The video continued. The alien probe had projected a 3-dimensional image above the town square. Human children, not much older than Theo, turning scrap metal into spears, using slingshots to take down hovering drones, building traps from household items. "It's like they're studying us," Reef murmured. "But they've fundamentally misunderstood something." "What?" asked one of the younger students. "They think our children are our warriors." Reef's mind raced. "Or they're testing whether all humans, regardless of age, pose a threat." Her phone suddenly buzzed to life. Emergency services had restored limited connectivity. A text from Theo appeared. "At Samira's house. Strange machines downtown. What do we do?" Reef typed rapidly. "Stay inside. Seal doors and windows. I'm coming." To her students, she issued clear instructions. "I need to check on my brother. You all stay here under Mrs. Rodriguez's supervision. Barricade after I leave. No one exits until we know more." "But Ms. Reyes," Liza protested. "What if those things come here?" Reef paused at the door. "Remember what we discussed about civil defense. Communities protect their own. You've all had emergency drills. Trust your training." As she slipped out, Reef heard the students organizing, designating lookouts, distributing improvised weapons, establishing communication chains. Pride momentarily displaced her fear. Outside, Millridge had transformed. Streets normally busy with morning traffic stood empty. In the distance, military helicopters approached. But Reef knew they'd be too late for whatever was coming next. She cut through backyards and alleyways, moving with the stealth her special ops training had ingrained. When she reached the Patels' modest 2-story home, she found the front door already reinforced with furniture. Samira's father, Dr. Patel, let her in through a side window. "The children are in the basement," he whispered, leading her downstairs. "They've been preparing." The basement had been transformed. Maps of the neighborhood covered one wall, marked with red X's where the alien probes had landed. A table held dismantled electronics, remote-controlled cars, walkie-talkies, even the science fair potato batteries. Theo and Samira looked up from their work, faces smudged with dirt, but eyes bright with purpose. "Reef," Theo rushed to hug her. "Did you see them? The alien things?" "I saw," she confirmed, surveying their makeshift command center. "What exactly are you two doing?" Samira, a serious girl with quick hands and quicker thoughts, gestured to their contraptions. Preparing. The machines are collecting data on human behavior. We think they're mapping the town. How do you know that? We followed one, Theo admitted. From a distance. It was scanning houses, power lines, water pipes. Before Reef could scold them for the risk, the basement television flickered on by itself. Every channel showed the same image. A stern, humanoid figure with iridescent skin and eyes like polished obsidian. People of Earth. The figure spoke, its mouth movements not quite matching the English words. Your world has been selected for immediate incorporation into the galactic hegemony. Your unusual developmental path has been noted. Unlike standard civilizations, you have failed to designate a warrior class. The alien's head tilted, an unsettlingly bird-like motion. Our preliminary tests confirm our hypothesis. All humans, even your young, possess combat readiness. This violates hegemony protocols for peaceful integration. Reef felt her heart sink as the alien continued. High Commander Il-Kor has therefore authorized full defensive measures. You have 6 hours to surrender all weapons and combat-capable individuals. The screen flickered, showing images of human children being sorted from adults. Those below maturation age will be rehabilitated. The rest must be neutralized to ensure hegemony security. The broadcast ended, leaving static. They think all humans are soldiers, Samira whispered. Even kids. They're not entirely wrong, Reef said grimly, thinking of how quickly her students had organized, how instinctively Theo and Samira had begun gathering intelligence. But they've severely miscalculated if they think that makes us easy to defeat. Dr. Patel's face had gone ashen. What do we do? The military won't be able to mobilize in time. Reef straightened. Decision made. We do what humans have always done when facing a superior force. We improvise. By noon, Millridge had transformed into a fortress of the ordinary. Reef had rallied the town through an emergency meeting at the high school gymnasium, using skills honed from years of training reluctant recruits. They expect soldiers, she told the gathered townspeople. We'll give them a community. The PTA, normally occupied with bake sales and fundraisers, now coordinated neighborhood watches. The local hardware store distributed tools that doubled as weapons. Retired veterans taught basic defense tactics to civilians in the park. Reef found Mayor Wilson directing the conversion of school buses into barricades. Captain Reyes, he acknowledged, his banker's hands now calloused from handling sandbags. The hospital's been evacuated to the underground parking garage. What's our next move? We need better intelligence, Reef replied. Those probes are the aliens' eyes. We need to blind them. Theo already has a plan for that, came a voice behind them. Samira stood there, a walkie-talkie in hand. Operation Little Wheels. He sent me to find you. At the middle school, Reef found her brother commanding a small army of children. The basketball court had become a workshop where dozens of radio-controlled cars were being modified with nails, firecrackers, and small cameras. The alien machines have sensors low to the ground, Theo explained, showing her a crude diagram. We can send these under them to disrupt their scanning. It's too dangerous, Reef protested. You're talking about directly engaging alien technology. We've already tested it, Samira said quietly. One of the probes is disabled behind the library. Reef stared at the two 12-year-olds. You did what? It worked, Theo insisted. Their underside has cooling vents. The cars can deliver flashbangs right underneath them. Reef wanted to be angry, to order all the children to safety, but the proud gleam in their eyes stopped her. This was exactly what the aliens feared. Humans of all ages, naturally adapting to combat. Fine, she conceded. But you operate remotely, from the school basement, and I want a direct communication line at all times. As the children continued their work, Reef received word that more alien craft had been detected entering Earth's atmosphere. Full invasion was imminent. She gathered her core team, Mayor Wilson, Police Chief Martinez, Dr. Patel, and Grandma Joyce, a retired electrical engineer who had become their de facto tech expert. "We need to understand their capabilities," Reef told them. "Chief, what have we learned about their weapons?" "Nothing lethal yet," Martinez reported. "The probes used some kind of stun field. 3 of my officers were hit. They recovered after about 20 minutes. "They're still assessing us," Dr. Patel suggested. "Perhaps full weaponry will come with the main invasion force." Grandma Joyce huffed, adjusting her thick glasses. "While you've all been talking, I've been listening." She held up a modified ham radio. "Their machines communicate on frequencies just above normal human hearing, but my old hearing aids pick it up just fine." She played a recording, a series of rhythmic pulses and static. "It's a countdown," she explained. "And I've spotted a pattern. Their communications stutter whenever we broadcast on certain frequencies." "Like what?" Reef asked. "Like the high school band practicing 'We Will Rock You' this morning. The vibrations from the bass drum and the stadium stomping completely scrambled their signals for nearly 30 seconds. Reef's mind raced. "So they're shields. They're vulnerable to specific frequencies, like stadium cheers or rock concert feedback?" Grandma Joyce nodded. "Precisely. Their technology seems to have a resonance weakness. This was the advantage they needed." Reef immediately began drafting plans to exploit this vulnerability, but a distant rumble interrupted her thoughts. The sky darkened as massive ships descended through the clouds, sleek, metallic vessels that made the earlier probes look like toys. The invasion had begun. From a hillside observation post, Reef watched the alien landing zone taking shape in what had been Millridge's Central Park. Heavily armored troops established a perimeter, their movements precise and practiced. Through binoculars, she studied their equipment, looking for weaknesses. Their commander, presumably Il-Kor, directed operations from a hovering platform. Unlike the other aliens, whose armor was utilitarian, Il-Kor wore ornate plates that caught the sunlight, a clear sign of rank. "They're extremely hierarchical," Reef murmured to Chief Martinez beside her. "Cut off the head, and the body will flounder." "Easier said than done," Martinez replied. "Those personal shields look impenetrable to anything we've got." Reef's walkie-talkie crackled. "Reef, it's Theo. Operation Little Wheels is ready. 20 cars, fully loaded." "Hold position," she ordered. "Wait for my signal." As she watched, the alien troops began methodically moving toward the town's residential areas. She could delay no longer. "All units, execute phase," Reef commanded into her radio. Across Millridge, hidden speakers blasted the bass line from "We Will Rock You." Boom, boom, clap. Boom, boom, clap, as thousands of residents stomped and clapped in unison. The sound reverberated through the streets, amplified by the town's natural bowl shape. Through her binoculars, Reef saw the effect immediately. The aliens' shield generators flickered, their communications devices emitting visible sparks. "Now, Theo," she ordered. From storm drains and bushes, dozens of remote-controlled cars zipped toward the alien perimeter. Each carried a payload, some with flashbangs, others with smoke bombs made from household chemicals. The aliens, momentarily disoriented by the sonic attack, failed to notice the tiny vehicles until they were directly underneath their walkers. Detonations rippled across their line. "Phase 2, Reef called. Grandma Joyce had repurposed the town's old tornado sirens to emit a precise frequency, matching the aliens' shield resonance. As they blared, the energy fields protecting the invaders collapsed entirely. From their hiding places, Millridge's residents emerged, not as trained soldiers, but as determined defenders. Construction workers wielded nail guns against alien armor. Farmers driving harvesters that Grandma Joyce had modified into mobile pillboxes advanced from the fields. In the confusion, Reef led a small team toward what appeared to be the aliens' communications array. They needed to capture one of the invaders alive, to understand why Earth had been targeted, and how to end this before it escalated further. The alien troops, expecting organized military resistance, seemed utterly unprepared for the chaotic, multifaceted defense they encountered. Their formations broke as they struggled to adapt to attacks coming from every direction. Reef's team reached the communications array. As they placed explosive charges, a lone alien officer emerged from the structure, taller than the others, with markings that indicated high rank. General Threx, Second Command. The alien identified itself in halting English. You fight unlike any species we have encountered. We fight to protect our home, Reef answered, weapon trained on the alien. Why are you here? The alien's inner eyelids flickered, a sign of distress. Reef guessed. High Commander Ilkor's doctrine classified your kind as non-combatants in our war protocols. Initial scans showed no standing armies near population centers. No combat training facilities for adults. So you thought we'd be easy targets? Reef pressed. We thought you would surrender, Threx corrected. Other species with undifferentiated population structures always have. Only designated warrior castes resist integration. A profound misunderstanding. Reef realized. The aliens had interpreted Earth's civilian military separation as a sign of weakness, not recognizing that every human possessed the capacity for defense when threatened. Take me to your commander, she demanded. This invasion is based on a critical error in your intelligence. Threx hesitated, then activated a communication device on his wrist. I have captured a human leader, requesting audience with High Command. As they waited for a response, explosions echoed from the town center. Reef's radio crackled with excited reports. Theo's Operation Little Wheels had disabled the alien's central power distribution node. Your juveniles, Threx observed with what might have been admiration. They fight with more ingenuity than our veteran shock troops. They're not soldiers, Reef corrected. They're just kids protecting their home. The aliens seemed to contemplate this. Perhaps this is why Ilkor fears your kind so deeply. You are all born ready. Before Reef could respond, a shadow fell over them. Ilkor's command vessel descended, its hull gleaming like liquid metal in the afternoon sun. This confrontation would determine Milridge's fate, and perhaps Earth's. The alien flagship hovered above the ruins of the mayor's mansion, its anti-gravity engines humming at a frequency that made Reef's teeth ache. She stood in what had been the grand foyer, now open to the sky where the roof had collapsed. General Threx had arranged this meeting, but Reef sensed his influence with High Commander Ilkor was tenuous. She needed to make her case quickly and convincingly. A beam of light shot down from the vessel, materializing into the imposing figure she had seen in the broadcast. Ilkor stood nearly 7 feet tall, with the same iridescent skin as the other aliens, but adorned with intricate patterns that seemed to shift with her movements. You are the human combat leader, Ilkor stated, her voice resonating oddly in the damaged space. I'm a teacher, Reef corrected. Captain Mara Reyes, formerly of Earth's Special Operations Forces, currently instructing civics at Milridge High School. Ilkor's obsidian eyes narrowed. You claim non-combatant status while organizing resistance. This duplicity confirms our assessment of human deception capabilities. You've misunderstood our entire species, Reef said firmly. Humans don't have dedicated warrior castes, but that doesn't mean we're defenseless. Every person you've encountered today is simply a civilian protecting their community. The alien commander circled Reef, studying her with cold calculation. Our doctrine is clear. Species without distinct warrior classes pose the greatest threat to hegemony stability. All members must be classified as potential combatants. And that's why you attacked? Because we don't segregate our society into fighters and non-fighters? Precisely. Your children build weapons from primitive materials. Your elders devise strategic countermeasures. Every human demonstrates combat readiness, a biological anomaly we cannot permit to spread. Reef understood now. The aliens feared humans not for their military might, but for their universal adaptability, their inherent capacity to become warriors when needed, then return to peaceful pursuits. You've made a critical error, Reef said, taking a calculated risk. Yes, all humans can fight when threatened, but our strength isn't in combat, it's in choice. We choose peace whenever possible. A distant explosion punctuated her words. Through the shattered windows, Reef saw smoke rising from the alien landing zone. Her earpiece crackled. Reef, it's Theo. Samira made it through. She's at the power core. Wilcor's translator device must have picked up the transmission. The commander's posture stiffened. What deception is this? Not deception, Reef replied calmly. Just another example of human ingenuity. While we've been talking, a 12-year-old girl has infiltrated your main power distribution hub. On cue, her radio activated again, this time broadcasting on a frequency the aliens could clearly hear. I'm in position, came Samira's steady voice. The EMP is armed. Ilkor's eyes widened. Impossible. Our security protocols were designed to detect weapons and soldiers, Reef finished. Not a child carrying a modified potato battery. During the weeks before the invasion, Theo and Samira had perfected their science project, a potato-based battery capable of generating a surprisingly strong electrical current. Now, amplified with parts scavenged from the aliens' own equipment, it had become an improvised electromagnetic pulse device. Your flagship's shields operate on the same frequency as your ground troops' communicators, Reef explained. The frequency that stadium cheers disrupt. Right now, thousands of Millridge residents are gathered in our high school stadium, cheering in perfect unison. As if to confirm her words, a distant roar reached them, the coordinated voices of an entire town, backed by every amplifier and speaker they could salvage. Ilkor activated her wrist communicator, barking orders in her native language. Only Static replied. Last chance, Reef offered. Withdraw your forces, and we'll deactivate the EMP before it triggers. Stay, and your flagship loses all power, stranding you on a planet where, as you've observed, every human is a potential adversary. For a moment that stretched into eternity. Ilkor stood motionless, calculating options. Finally, the alien commander made a gesture that might have been resignation. You have demonstrated unexpected resourcefulness, Ilkor admitted. The hegemony will reconsider Earth's classification. We're not interested in classification, Reef countered. We're interested in peaceful coexistence, or being left alone entirely. Impossible. The hegemony must categorize all sentient species. Then create a new category, Reef suggested. One that recognizes our unique nature without marking us for conquest. Before Ilkor could respond, the ground shook. Above them, the flagship's engines stuttered, its lights flickering as Samira's device began affecting its systems. Your decision, Commander. Reef pressed. Peace or paralysis? With visible reluctance, Ilkor activated a different communication device, one apparently shielded from the interference. All forces, disengage and return to vessels. Earth will be recategorized pending further assessment. As the alien troops began their withdrawal, Reef maintained her composure. But inside, relief flooded through her. They had done it. Not through superior firepower or military might, but through the collective determination of ordinary people. You realize too late, she told Ilkor quietly, that humans are at their most dangerous, not when we're trained for war, but when we're defending what we love. The alien commander regarded her with what might have been newfound respect. Your species will be watched. Captain Teacher Reyes, the hegemony does not easily forget, or forgive. Neither do we, Reef replied. But we're always open to better options than fighting. As Ilkor's transport beam reactivated, the commander left Reef with a final observation. All humans born combat ready. Most unusual. Most concerning. Then she was gone, leaving only scorched marble where she had stood. Reef's radio came alive with cheers and reports from around town. The alien vessels were retreating, their engines straining against the effects of Samira's ingenious device. In the distance, military helicopters approached, too late for the battle, but perhaps just in time for the aftermath. Earth's official forces would handle the diplomatic fallout. Milridge's defenders had already done the impossible part. Reef made her way to the power core, where she found Samira maintaining a vigilant watch over her creation, a mess of wires connecting several dozen potatoes to salvaged alien technology. "Did it work?" the girl asked anxiously. "Are they leaving?" "They're leaving," Reef confirmed, kneeling beside her. "You did something amazing today." Samira's serious expression broke into a rare smile. "It was Theo's idea to use the science project. I just made it bigger." "Where is he now?" "Coordinating the retrieval of all the remote cars. He says we might need them again someday." Reef couldn't help but laugh. A release of tension, of fear, of the weight of responsibility she'd carried since the first impact. Her brother, already thinking ahead to the next potential crisis. As they emerged from the alien structure, the sunset painted Milridge in hues of gold and crimson. Despite damaged buildings and cratered streets, the town felt more alive than ever. Neighbors helped neighbors clear debris. Children collected alien artifacts with the same enthusiasm they'd once reserved for seashells. Theo ran to meet them, his face smudged with dirt, but beaming with the confidence of victory. "We did it. Operation Little Wheels was a complete success." Reef embraced him tightly, allowing herself this moment of pure relief. "You were incredible. Squirt. Both of you were." "Does this mean I get extra credit on my science project?" he asked with a mischievous grin. Over the following days, as government officials and military personnel swarmed Milridge to document the encounter, Reef observed how quickly the town returned to a semblance of normalcy, yet with subtle differences. The PTA still held meetings, but now they included defensive strategy sessions. The high school shop class designed improved barricades alongside birdhouses. Children played in the park, but their games now mimicked Operation Little Wheels. When reporters asked how an ordinary American town had repelled an alien invasion, Mayor Wilson simply gestured to the community working together to rebuild. "There's nothing special about Milridge," he told them. "Any town would have done the same." But the aliens had recognized something humanity had long taken for granted: the innate adaptability that allowed every person, regardless of age or background, to become a defender when circumstances demanded it. 1 month after the invasion, as Reef prepared for the new school year, she received a package from the Pentagon, a captured alien holoprojector, deemed safe for educational purposes. She installed it in her classroom, where it displayed a rotating Earth surrounded by a simple message: all humans born combat ready. Not as a threat, but as a reminder of their unique strength, not in weapons or warfare, but in unity and ingenuity. On the first day of class, her new students filed in, their eyes immediately drawn to the alien device. "Is it true you captured an alien commander?" one bold freshman asked. "That's classified," Reef replied with a wink. "Today we're discussing civil defense, how communities organize during crises." "Like alien invasions?" another student suggested. "Exactly like alien invasions," Reef agreed. "Open your textbooks to Chapter 1, The Power of Ordinary People." After school, she found Theo waiting for her, proudly wearing his new patch, the official emblem of the recently established Global Defense Fellowship, an international youth program teaching survival skills and tactical creativity. "First meeting tomorrow," he announced, falling into step beside her. "Samira's already been made team leader for our age group." "I'm not surprised," Reef said, ruffling his hair. "You two make quite the team." As they walked home through the repaired streets of Millridge, past the rebuilt water tower now proudly bearing both the town name and a small planetary emblem, Reef noticed a young girl sitting on the schoolyard wall. She couldn't have been more than 7, her small hands busily connecting wires to what looked like a battery made from a lemon. When she saw Reef watching, she smiled and waved, untroubled by the weight of her creation's potential. Just another human child, tinkering with scraps, ready for whatever the universe might throw their way next. In the evening, Reef stood on her porch, watching the stars emerge. Somewhere up there, Ilkor was likely reporting to her superiors, explaining how a supposedly primitive species had outmaneuvered the hegemony's finest. She wondered what category they would eventually assign to humanity. Warrior species? Technological innovators? Unpredictable variables? None would capture the truth she had witnessed, that human strength lay not in designated soldiers or advanced weapons, but in teachers who became commanders when needed, in grandmothers who turned hearing aids into intelligence devices, in children who saw potato batteries not as science projects, but as the means to save their town. The guilt that had plagued her since Operation Sandstorm felt lighter now. She had channeled that regret into something constructive, not seeking vengeance, but protecting a community that had become her own. As Theo joined her on the porch, a prototype of his newest invention in hand, Reef felt something she hadn't experienced in years. Hope, unalloyed by fear. Whatever came next, they would face it together, not as soldiers, but as humans, born ready for whatever challenges awaited. "Do you think they'll come back?" Theo asked, gazing at the same stars. "Maybe," Reef admitted, "but next time, we'll be even more prepared." "Good," he said with unexpected seriousness, "because I've got some ideas for Operation Big Wheels." Reef laughed, draping an arm around his shoulders. The universe might be vaster and stranger than they had ever imagined, filled with beings who categorized and conquered, but none who understood the fundamental truth of humanity. When pushed to their limits, ordinary people could accomplish extraordinary things, not because they were trained for combat, but because they were born with something even more powerful: the creativity, courage, and connection that transformed civilians into defenders at a moment's notice. All humans born combat-ready, not a threat, but a promise. A promise Millridge had kept, and would keep again if needed. One potato battery, remote-controlled car, and stadium cheer at a time.